That's right. I'm back, man. Uh-huh. And I didn't say Batman either. I said I'm back, man. Oh, yeah. And I'm here to make some sense out of all the nonsense that's taking place in these last couple of days. So, yeah. Uh, and I hope you're up early in the morning to check me out. Yeah, I had to go ahead and hit y'all up in the morning. You know how my schedule is, y'all. Unfortunately, I got the vampire hours going on for work, and I got to get in where I fit in. So I felt a little froggy, so I said I might as well jump. Now I see I got a notification on my alternative phone and channel. Somebody said my dog. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, Kev. Uh huh. Yep. Here comes the cavalry. Uh huh. People are hearing the trumpet. They like, yo, it's time to assemble. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But before we get into all of that, I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. I hope you did something productive or at least fun. At least fun. And if you're not going to do nothing productive, you might as well do something fun. And I hope you are safe. Somebody said charge. That's what I'm talking about. Send me. There it is. Everybody, right now. But right now, the Democrats are saying broken arrow. Broken arrow. Yeah, what movie is that from? That's a quiz. I said that to a young boy. In fact, my supervisor, my nighttime supervisor, I hit him over the radio. No, I came into his office and I said, man, we got broken arrow out there on the strappers, and he was like, broken arrow. What do you mean by it? What does that mean? I was like, you don't. Yep. Somebody said we were soldiers. There it is, man. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I was almost mad. You don't know what broken arrow mean? You ain't never seen We Were Soldiers? When Mel Gibson grabbed that thing, broken arrow. That means sending the big guns right about now. We're overwhelmed. And the Democrats are screaming broken arrow, but I don't think nobody's coming. I don't think nobody's coming for them. Now, while I am sitting back clowning and joking and yucking it up real quick, I want to make sure you guys can hear me. Can you hear me? Everybody can hear me? Check one. Well, I guess y'all can because you answered the question to the broken arrow, trivia. So with that being said, y'all, yeah, let's go ahead and see if we can sneak in some, getting loose so I can get busy. Oh, yeah. I want the clean hands, beating my chest like Real gorilla. Real gorilla. Real gorilla. There's some kings in the building. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. That's right, y'all. And don't forget, there's a Kevin's Corner store in here, too, where you can get yourself some merchandise. As you can see, there's a little pamphlet right there I put together. The phone number's on there. 330-974-4607 is the number you can text Maggot to Kevin. Just in case they disappear me off here, I have a way to definitely get in touch with y'all. I can text y'all and say, they got me, y'all. They got me. And you can go ahead in there and search the merch. That's what you can do. And I also want to let everybody know, if you want to support the channel in other ways, you can do that through my Cash App and my PayPal, because I sure could, use it right about now. And I want to go ahead and give you guys an update on my efforts to get a new laptop. That's right. The Help Kevin Get a New Apple Pro laptop, because, my other one mysteriously got wet. And I got good news, y'all. Oh, yeah, y'all. Hallelujah. 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 Let's see it again, y'all. Yeah. Not that. Yeah. I'm not excited about the song. I'm excited about this. There it is. Look at this. Look at it. Look at this, y'all. Oh, Sookie now. Sookie. A brand new Apple Pro Mac Daddy. Guess what, y'all? I have to definitely give a shout out to none other. His first name is Bob. Okay. And I ain't talking about Bob, okay? Because Bob he'd never give a black guy a laptop. Give him the willies, man. Yeah. One of the people who've been watching my show for years contacted me, and he said he was able to, bless me because he's been blessed. And that's what the world should be about. You get blessed and you bless others. We're blessed in the city. We're blessed in the fields. So I just pray God to give me enough resources to where I can pass it on. So Bob contacted me. I gave him my number. He had to double check, make sure it was me. Yeah, I would have done that too. You don't want to get burned on the internet. So we chit-chatted a little bit. He got a wonderful sense of humor. And he said, yeah, now that I've confirmed it's you, what you got to do is just go up to Best Buy. He's from my hometown. Well, not my hometown, but my town that I lived in for years, Cincinnati. And he said, yeah, just go up to the Best Buy out in Boardman and give them your name, show them your ID, and get the laptop. And I was like, oh, my God, this was an unexpected early Christmas gift. And I cannot say how much I appreciate what Bob did, because you got to understand these laptops are not cheap. So he must really believe in what I do, support what I do. He said he's been watching the channel for years. So, yeah, by far, this one right here just took my breath away. I was like, Bob, man, you came through. If I'm ever in Cincinnati, we got to hang out, man. So I appreciate it. Like I said, I have to give him a shout out. But you know what, though? I can't give just him a shout out when you all have been anteing up too to help me get a laptop. And if we continue in the journey, what I got to do next, y'all, what's the next thing we got to do? We got to put a big fat warranty on this mug, some insurance, so that never happens again. So I'm still saying we ain't done until I got to buy that darn insurance policy. They gave me 20 days. I was like, all right, give me a minute. I got to scrape up some cheese. Let me pinch my pennies. Okay, how much is it again? Whoa. What does that cover? Does that cover a boulder smashing it? Better cover everything. If it's a nuclear war and I get blown up and I'm not even here, they better replace this laptop. Dang on it. So thanks again, Bob. Thank you all for just even worrying about it, because I'm going to tell you, I was struggling, y'all. It felt so good. And this one's brand new. It's newer than the one I had, y'all. Man, I took it to the Apple store. They were like, oh, this one right here, shoot, you got the upgrade. I didn't know what they were talking about. They were nerds, but they were you got the upgraded process, the Intel, and you don't have that. And in fact, I'm like, So this one's better. It makes it go zoom, 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 zoom. Okay, good. That's all I need to know. And of course, this mug is booking. It's fast too. I'm like, whoa, wait. And I ain't going to junk it up with all these videos and clips that I got to download for this. Yeah, man, I'm going to try to, I'm going to nourish this one. I'm going to protect this one real good, y'all. Oh, yeah. So thank you again, Bob. And thank all of you for even being concerned about, what I do and some of the things I need to do it. There's a lot of expenses that goes into being Kevin from Kevin's Corner. And there was times in the past before I think YouTube might have put me on a list where, I could have easily done this, but it is what it is. And I'm just believing the next blessing is going to be YouTube getting up off my back and off my subscribers and releasing my channel, especially when I'm dropping some good ones like the last video that I dropped, the last live stream, man. If you ain't synced it, you better go back and sync it, okay? The one that was, you cannot despise Democrats anymore. Trust me, enough. And I think that was a good one. I'm going to chop up some clips on that one. And, somebody said no more dog peeing on the Kev's laptop. Man, I turn this mug off at night, close it up, make sure I put it up like, okay, yeah, this way. If anything happened to this, I know it wasn't me or the dogs. I'm like, somebody must be living in my crib when I go to work. We'll see. But if I catch them, they're gonna run into the wall of pain. Okay. So now, with that being said, speaking of the wall of pain, let's get into two topics tonight. The first one is justification of why we need to forget about the filibuster. The reason we need to get rid of that mug ASAP. Okay. Because we're dealing with dangerous people. We're dealing with folks that are so evil when it comes down to their politics and how they approach it. We can't afford to allow them to get the step. That's the one step on us. We can't allow them to get the drop on us, y'all. We gotta be like Clint Eastwood, y'all. We gotta be like Doc Holliday. I'm your Huckleberry. And quick on the draw. Boom. Come on, Dems. Come on. Come on. That's right. You're no Daisy. We gotta hit them first, man, because these are the radical ideas and approaches that these folks are going to have if they ever get back in power. So let's go ahead and get it. Listen to the bass inside of this laptop right here. Here we go. Check it out. Oh yeah, it's all full.
For sure, we need Supreme Court reform ASAP.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Y'all hear the depth and the sound and stuff.
The other one, it had a lot of treble and stuff, you know. It got me through some hard times, don't get me wrong. I appreciated it, but it needed some more bass.
So now we got the fullness of the sound. Oh yeah. I'm gonna be excited to rewatch it late at night when I'm at work if I can sneak a peek or something like that. But let's go ahead. Let's get into it because see, we got the lady with the horsehair. The lady with the brain outside of her head right there. The lady with the cinnamon roll sitting up on top of that dome right there, talking about we need some Supreme Court justice reform. Now, I wonder if she would be saying that if the Supreme Court was woke, like that Ninth Circuit's Court or whatever that is. Yeah, I wonder if they'd be saying that if these were all woke Supreme Court justices or all of these folks, these low-level judges that are trying to stop Trump's agenda, if they were all on the Supreme Court, you'd think they'd be talking about, we need to go ahead and deal with the Supreme Court. So now, we already know. They want to target one of the areas that they're weak in. The problem with the Democrats is they've been working all of these years to co-opt all of the elements of power. See, they're like, yo, we need the Supreme Court, but dang on it. Trump had to go ahead and win over Hillary. Then we have folks dying. And then he got three of them. See, so that's one area that they lost power in. They've been working hard to make sure they can control media, social media platforms, news media, entertainment, all the elements to use to wield power and suppress any dissent. And so the Supreme Court, even though I still wish they were a little more conservative in their rulings, but they are pain in their butt. So what does she talk about? They're giving us the hints for all of the dumb Republicans out there who, for whatever reason, we shouldn't do that right there. I'm going, you don't hear this, so I got to help them. I got to show them these are the things these people are trying to do if they get back in power.
I have a number of bills for that. If I could just get,
you ain't got no bills
Democrats to help me get this done. But we need ethics reform. We need to expand the court. There's a lot that we need to do with this Supreme Court because of how utterly trash.
Now you hear that? You hear that? Now hopefully she won't be around for that. Okay. She's getting written out of her district, and then she's going to do something stupid like try to run for the Senate in Texas. Now, before I get going too far, I want to make sure that, my Wi-Fi, I ain't got the Wi-Fi on right now. Right now, I think or do I? I might have the Wi-Fi on. Let's see. I do have the Wi-Fi on. I do. If it starts, running slow or glitching or something like that, let me know. All right. Now, let's get back to stupid. Okay, now, so, she's about to make a mistake and run for Senate and get blown out, and hopefully we'll never have to see or hear from her again. I'm sure she'll weasel her way back in to some type of social media, because that's really what it seems like she's all about anyway. But nonetheless, here she is talking about we got to expand this, Supreme Court. Why? Why do we have to do that? Now, if you're a Republican politician, a senator or a House member, and you are overlooking what these people are talking about, you are dumb. If you are sitting back saying Trump's going too far when he suggests we need to abolish the filibuster, I'm going, you're dumb. Your enemies are telling you what they're going to do if they get back in power. This is not time for you to say, we're going to take the moral high road. Because see, the filibuster is not written in the Constitution. So why in the world would you not listen to these people give you every hint that, we are going to make sure we bubble wrap ourselves in power We are going to get in there and go after anything that could, buck up against our power.
They are.
So now, that's one. They want to pack the courts. But then look at this. Look at this. What else they want to do?
This is the lowest the Supreme Court has been rated. I think the way to cure that very quickly is expand it to 13.
There it is. You hear the Crip? You hear him?
Talking about the way it is, we can just expand it to 13.
Just enough so y'all can have the majority. And then have them rule on all the crazy woke ideology that you want. And if Republicans don't think it's going to happen, listen to the Crip.
And get some balance on the court.
President Biden did not do that, but James Carville would like to. He also wants to bring 2 more states into the union.
Oh, now why would he want to do that? Huh? And look at the 2 states he's picking. You already know who they're going to vote for.
The Democrats are going to have to move to admit the District of Columbia and Puerto Rico
heard you say
states
that.
because right now, because we're 18% of the United States elect 52 senators.
So pack.
So you hear that? Pack the courts. Go ahead and make Puerto Rico and D.C. a state. And what do you think that's for? See? Now, once again, we all need to be contacting our senators and saying, what are y'all doing? Are y'all not watching the same clips that Kevin from Kevin's Corner is watching? Do you think these people are bluffing? Do you think that if they get power again, they're going to let a person like Trump or any MAGA movement even get close? If they win the House, the Senate, and the presidency, it's over. Over. Because they would do what our weak Republicans are too weak to do. And then they'll be sitting back looking stupid, getting on TV, getting sound bites, making complaints. This right here is unprecedented. We can see that these folks are... I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that if this happens. See, this is one of them situations where we got foreshadowing. We're sitting here going, they're telling everybody that they're going to do it. And they're going to come up with all the crazy, bogus excuses of why they had to do it. See, and then our dumb Republicans will be talking about this right here. It just shouldn't stand. And I'm going, it didn't have to stand. We could have beat them to the punch.
The court, create 2 new states. Well, how's he going to do it?
Yeah.
You would need 60 votes, and you're not going to have 60 votes in the Senate. It's just not the way the country is made up. Are you going to eliminate the filibuster?
I would carve out for those 2 things, yes.
I think we.
Well, look at that. Carve out for those 2 things. So now, the very filibuster that Trump is telling the Republicans, y'all better abolish it. We need to write all of this stuff into law, especially voter IDs, stuff like that. Yeah, man, it needs to be a national law so that these folks can't do what we're about to hear. One of these raggedy politicians that's out in California is trying to do. Oh, speaking of raggedy politicians out in California, look at this one. Look at this one. Yeah, you think if they win, they won't do this?
We should reduce voting age to 16.
Oh, that's stupid. Yeah, 16. Just like a couple of years ago when you said the college students are dumb. That's why they live in dorm rooms and stuff like that. Yeah, that's exactly why you want to go ahead and lower the voting age to 16, because you know that those kids are dumb. They're impressionable. Yeah, that right there would be a nightmare. If you don't think they'll do it, we're hearing it all right now. I'm trying to show now the Republicans and all of us, all of the evidence is right there. I don't want to be sitting back looking at these clips later going, we had it, man. We had it. They let us know and we blew it. We blew it when we had it. So, yeah, that's one thing that they would do. Republicans, we need to go ahead and start contacting everybody. Listen, man, with my water bottle phone. Listen, man, y'all better go ahead and abolish that filibuster. Have y'all not been hearing what the Democrats have been plotting to do when they get in? They're threatening this. Watch this.
In terms of taking the fight to Donald Trump, I know you're close with him. But from a policy perspective, is there any major change?
I want to modernize the state.
You hear Fartwell? Fartwell is running for governor of California. Yeah, man. He's no Arnold Schwarzenegger. Get to the chopper now. Okay? Now, this guy right here, he wants to modernize it, right? Now, my gut tells me he'll be worse, which is hard to do, than Gavin the Nuisance. Because look what he wants to do to voting, guys.
And he wrote a book called Citizenville, which I read when I was
Years ago.
up and coming.
And he was lieutenant
And
governor.
he laid out a lot of great ideas then, and he implemented some of them. And he, was a modernizing force. He's leaving. And so there is going to be a void. I want us to be able to vote by phone. I think every Californian
Vote by phone.
Vote by phone.
You hear the guy vote by phone? That tone lets you know he got a problem with vote by phone. Vote by phone? What? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Now, here's the crazy part about when these guys come up with these crazy ideas. We, the smart people, the ones with integrity and common sense, we know why they want to go ahead and vote by phone. We know why they want to lower the voting age to 16. We know why they don't want voter IDs. But these folks get out here and try to use a stupid behind excuse to justify it, and it would only sound rational to irrational people. Yeah, people who are sitting there going, that seems great. We want everybody to be inclusive and make sure it's easy for everyone to vote. And I'm going, that's the problem. They want it too easy for everybody to vote. Do you know the fallout? I mean, what could go wrong voting by phone? Huh? I mean, I got 3 phones up in here right now. Right now. How are you going to prove that this one right here is from Kevin? This is from Kevin's Corner. Some people think my last name is Corner. They be like, hey, Kevin, Mr. Corner. I'm going, no, actually, that's just the name of the show. It's Kevin's, I might go ahead and use that. Kevin's Corner. I'm voting, that's Kevin's Corner. I'm voting as Gizmo. There you go. And I'm voting as Kevin. These are ways to manipulate the system. I mean, do you understand the shenanigans that will go on if we voted by phone? And this fool is going to try to justify it and try to make it make sense.
Yeah, if we can do our taxes, do our make our healthcare appointments, make essentially do your banking online. You should be able to vote by phone.
What could possibly go wrong? What could possibly go wrong voting by phone? Now, this is fascinating that he's sitting up here like, if we could do that. Now, remember, guys, these are the same people who say we don't need IDs because black people that might not be able to afford getting IDs. They might not have the resources to go down to the BMV and stuff, but yet, what are they going to do if they don't have a cell phone? That's what my question is. Every black person in America most likely has a cell phone, but yet you're trying to pretend that they can't get IDs? I mean, folks will go without just to pay their phone bill. And they be sitting there like, man, look, hey, you don't have to turn off the lights and the gas, but I need my cell phone. But this guy right here now wants them to vote by phone. Why is it that the Democrats are always looking for ways to make the system less, safe? Always. And then they get up there and they try to use these bootleg excuses, like Kamala Harris with the 16-year-olds. They have climate anxiety. That these folks are going to have to vote in the future. And I'm going, y'all think that this stuff with the excuses you're using right now makes sense? And I'm going, no, I see right through it. I know exactly why you guys are doing that. I mean, y'all are so see-through when it comes down to all of the evil things you try to participate in. When y'all were bringing all these illegal immigrants over here. And I'm going, I see right through it. You're not going to sell me on that. The country is built by immigrants and the Statue of Liberty says, bring all your... I'm going, you're not selling me on that. I know exactly why you're trying to do this. It's just that we got too many dumb people that don't know it or they ain't paying attention to it until it shows up in their neighborhoods. Same thing with this crap. If we don't abolish that mess and write in some laws to prevent them from cheating, kiss the dang on Republican Party goodbye. They will cheat their way into power. We know they'll do it. They'll do it. Yeah, man. They like Gator on, I forget what that show was. It was Samuel Jackson and Wesley Snipes. I forget the name of that movie. But Gator, Samuel Jackson was playing Gator, a crackhead. And he said, Mama, I need the money to get my medicine. Don't make me hit an old lady over the head with a bag of nickels. Then he said, I do it. I do it. He starts shimmying, man, telling his mama, you know I do it. I do it. Yeah, man. Gator was like, you know I do it. Same thing with these people. They'll do it. They'll do it. You know they'll do it. So let's go ahead and do it before they can.
It's safe, make it secure, but it's actually already happening all over the United States. I want us to be...
Where? That's happening all over the United States? People are now voting by phone? Are you kidding me? When? Where? How?
A blue state that doesn't do just a little bit better than like Georgia or Alabama when it comes to like voting access. I want to
Voting access? To whom? Whom? I mean, how about y'all go ahead and pay for a whole bunch of people to go around to nursing homes, go around to hospitals where folks are sickly, and start voting on their phone for them? Because that's exactly what would happen. Folks would be going around voting on other people's phones for them. Folks that you know ain't gonna vote. All the brothers in the hood, man, dude, I ain't voting, man. Hey, they gonna put whoever they want in there anyway. Well, then why don't you let me go ahead and vote for you? Man, go ahead, do what you do, man. Do what you do. There are endless problems that can occur from that mess right there. From that mess right there. But he thinks he got it covered. He thinks he sound edgy and progressive. He thinks he's making sense with this stupid proposal.
us to max out democracy. Also, as it relates to democracy, if you wait in line for
max out democracy. No, max out Democrat votes. That's all it is. What is max out democracy? You think these folks care about democracy? They're using democracy so they can subvert democracy. That's what he's doing. Max out democracy.
30 minutes or more, if you do want to vote in person, I think you should fine every county for every minute that a person has to wait longer.
So you can encourage the counties to force people to vote by phone. That's what it is. So you can rig that system. So you're going to, if I'm waiting just a little too long, see, that shows commitment. They don't want people voting that actually puts time and thought into their votes. They're very conscious voters. They have a high voter IQ. They understand what's at stake. Yeah, those are the ones that will come out on voting day, not mailing crap in to ensure that, all right, now, I want to see it, scan it right now in front of me before I leave. Okay, all right, want to make sure. Yeah, I might have had to wait a couple more minutes, but I'll do that before I let a Kamala Harris get in. Yeah, I'll wait about 4 or 5 days before I let a Biden get in or Hillary Clinton. See, but they don't want that. Yeah, they want the lazy folks, the irresponsible folks, the folks with low voter IQs voting, and they will go ahead and dummy down that system unbelievably if they win again. So what do we need to do? Abolish the filibuster so we can write in voting ID laws across the nation.
You have to be better, not just a little bit better than the other states.
You call for an end to the filibuster. In the past, leaders said...
Oh, yeah. Look at this. Here's a representative of the White House. Yeah, this is why we need to go ahead and do this. Republicans.
Soon has said that it's just not happening. There aren't the votes. Mr. Secretary, do you believe that you have enough votes, that the president has enough votes to get rid of the filibuster?
Well, we will see come January 30th, because that's the point of my editorial, is to put the Senate on notice that the Democrats kept the government shut down. Yep. And Ezra Klein in the New York Times took the mask off. He said this wasn't about healthcare. This was about stopping totalitarianism.
Yeah, whatever that is. We already know that is. It's whatever they say it is. It's Trump. And whatever decisions he makes, it's totalitarianism. Everything he does is because he wants to be a king and a dictator. So these folks knew that this would affect our economy. It would impact folks' lives. And they didn't care. And our Republicans pooted and farted around with these people for 40-something days. It was cute at first, but then it started to impact us. It started to impact the view of the Republicans. They drug us into this, and I'm saying, what are y'all doing? This is one thing I can't say about the Democrats. They get in power, they wield it, but they wield it for evil. We get in power and we are, not too much. Yeah, don't you pitch me a baseball, and think I'm going to bunt it. I'm trying to knock it out the park. I ain't trying to just hit it on a grounder, to hit it out to left field, make everybody feel included so they can run and try to catch it. I want them to have no shot at catching that ball. I want them to be sitting back marveling at how far that ball is going, like, wow. I want them to be watching that ball like they're a fan instead of an opponent, admiring it like that ball is gone. Wow. Like the Sandlot, dang on it. The Great Bambino. That's what I want to do. If you give me the power, man, I'm telling you, when I was a youngster, I did everything hard. Yeah, every time they pitched it, I would swing and almost break my back trying to hit it. If I miss it, kickball, man, I might be like Charlie Brown. They're like, dude, you're trying to kill it. I'm like, absolutely. I'm not here to just bump it out there. No, I'm trying to smash it every time while I got the power. But hey, these folks right here, well, we don't need to. And I'm going, so what do you think is going to happen in January when it's time to shut it down again and y'all don't give them their way? See, y'all going to let them drag y'all into this mess again, or should you do what this smart man is saying?
The Democrats haven't been able to stop President Trump in the courts. They haven't been able to stop him in the media. So they had to harm the American people. 1.5% hit to GDP, $11 billion permanent hit. They don't care. So I believe that Senate Democrats, if Senate Democrats close the government again, that Senate Republicans should immediately abrogate the filibuster.
Bam! Immediately. And they should do it anyway. Even if they do agree to, sign and keep the government open. They should do it anyway because of all of the policies that Trump has enacted, or a lot of executive orders. They won't stand if these people get their hands back in power. These things need to be signed into law. And another thing to secure our victory and our power. Boy, they need me as a consultant. I mean, do they have any smart people over there in the Senate telling these people, y'all do realize this is our big chance to stomp them out, right? To stomp them out. Not only do we need to abolish the filibuster and get all of these bills signed into law, we also need to go ahead and go all in on forcing these darn governors to go ahead and redistrict. I'm like, what are y'all waiting on? What are you doing? Are y'all going to wait until after the midterms? Mess around, let them slide in a victory? Then talking about, oh, well, we should have redistricted. Now they got the House. And you know what's going to come with that? Nothing but investigations, impeachment. And I'm saying, geez, man, I mean, we voted y'all back in to be smart. We voted y'all back in because we hoped that these folks would see how serious our country is in, the situation and the danger that our country is in if these folks get back in power. And I'm hoping they don't blow it. But we got some rhinos still mixed in there. And I'm going, I can see a Rand Paul not voting for it. I mean, I can see it, several of them. No, we shouldn't do it. The Rhode Island people. And I'm going, y'all will be the same people whining when these people go ahead and destroy the rest of our democracy. Let's go ahead and get to the next topic.
You should ask Senator Klobuchar whether she will adhere to the filibuster and whether she will close the government.
Here we go. Yeah, because, they're not. They're going to do that. They're going to close it. Now, guys, 'tis the season for Democrats treason. Fa la 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 la. Now, just as we see what these folks are willing to do when it comes down to getting back in power and, a Massey, another one, he's another one. But getting back in power and, making Puerto Rico a state and Washington. I mean, they're willing to do all of that. Set it up, vote by phone and the teenagers voting and all kind of other stuff. These folks are also willing to undermine the chain of command when it comes down to the president. Now, the other day, I went over this. We talked about it, and I let y'all know just how disgusted I was at what these Democrats have done. But now the heat is starting to, come back on them. So now they're coming out, and they are trying to give excuses, defend it. Some of them are walking it back a little bit because initially they came out and said the president wants us dead. He trying to kill us and stuff. He want to hang us and stuff right out in the streets and stuff. Yeah, they came out and went straight child on us. He always trying to kill us and stuff. We don't even be doing nothing. Overlooking the reason he said what he said. And they were hoping that a lot of Americans would go ahead and get caught up in the hoopla and all of the fake, outrage and the media. The president of the United States has called for several congressmen's deaths. That's what they were hoping that everybody would fall for that. But instead, a lot of people were going, they did what? And so now they kind of, they got to come out and, try to go ahead and cover it up. So let's go ahead and see the latest on them trying to commit treason. The Democrats. All right. 'Tis the season for Democrats treason. Oh, yeah.
Trump thinks that there's a problem of political violence in this country. Why on earth are comments like these acceptable to you?
Sedition is a lawful process. You have to be tried and convicted in the court of law.
Yeah, but you don't want the people to see it like that though, right, Abby? Yeah, you want them to see it as political violence. So wait, then anyone who is caught doing something that requires severe punishment, is it all political violence? Are all of the congressmen and women exempt of punishment by law? That's my question. When Congress people break the laws and you say you do realize you broke the law and that is punishable by X, Y, and Z, then that's what? Political violence? No. Are they above the law? If someone in the military goes ahead and does something that is a betrayal of our country, they will be court-martialed and they will be subject to being punished by death. But for some reason, when you acknowledge these Democrats doing something that's treasonous, and you say, hey, look, you do realize that's punishable by death, then that itself is encouraging political violence on them. So what? We just let them go? We can't hold them accountable for nothing? We can't sit back and say, hey, you violated the law and you do realize here's the potential consequences. No, that's just our violence on them. So now, what? We got to worry about some crazy folks, attacking these people, which that's not going to happen. But y'all want to make it seem like you can't even hold them accountable because some crazy folks might just go ahead and say, we're going to go ahead and attack them because we don't like them and we don't like what they did to Trump. No, I want to see actual accountability. I don't want to see vigilante justice like the left does. I want to see them be brought to justice. And they ain't just the only ones. It's a whole bunch of them that probably committed treason, Comey and the rest of them. But let's go ahead and continue hearing Abby come in and try to justify the stupidity.
He's not encouraging.
You actually
he's not
believe
this is Hitler.
But hold on a second.
These people are fascists.
You actually believe that Democrats putting out a video saying follow the law is sedition?
Terrible. I think it was terrible.
You think that's sedition?
And look, we've already.
See, now notice what she does. She takes the downplaying of it. See, when Trump says something, they go ahead and upgrade it. When he says, you know what, but if I lose, man, it's going to be a bloodbath. Instead of saying, well, you know what, let's take the actual context of what he was saying and say, well, yeah, he was talking about the economy and these cars coming across the Mexican border. No, let's not do that. Let's go ahead and bump that up to political violence. If he don't win, he wants a bloodbath in the streets. He wants violence in the streets. But then when these folks come out and they say, that you don't have to listen to the president is having the military, using the military on citizens, American citizens, and then follow up right after that by saying, you don't have to obey unlawful orders. We're going to drop the subliminal message in the minds of these folks in the military and the people listening to our stupid video. By dropping that in there prior to us coming out and saying you don't have to obey unlawful orders. But we already slid in and suggested that he's using y'all against American citizens, which he's not. But we're going to slide that in there as a soft example, not a hardcore example. And then when you call us on it, we're going to have these dummies come out and downplay that. And instead of saying, yes, they were trying to encourage a coup in our military, she's just going to say they were trying to tell them that just, follow orders and not unlawful orders. And I'm going, that's not what they were doing. See, once again, you're trying to belittle our intelligence. We know exactly the intent behind what they were doing. Abby.
Already seen Democrats.
Terry, let me ask you a question. Do you think the Democrats putting out a video saying this is follow the law?
That's it. That's all they were saying. They're just putting out a video that follow the law. That's what they always do. That's my question. Since when did they feel the necessity? That just popped up out of nowhere. They were sitting around, we never done. We never actually encouraged the military to follow the law. Follow the law. Follow the law. Follow the law. Yeah, you know what? It'd be a good idea. Right here at this moment in time to go out there and say, you know what? The military needs to follow the law. They know they need to follow the law. And then secondly, when Trump's involved, and then you end up with you don't have to obey. Why do you think Trump's involved in it? Then you guys come out and say y'all don't have to obey unlawful commands. What's the connection? Yeah, if y'all didn't start off talking about that we're in pressing times, that this administration is that. I mean, you could have just came out and said, hey, listen, hey, military, we just want to let everybody know follow the law. But it was preceded by a whole bunch of rhetoric about the Trump administration. So we know exactly what prompted you all to come out and conclude that you guys need to disobey anything that Trump says that is unlawful. Oh, I thought, no, whatever you feel is unlawful. Don't worry about it. So now we know you got Trump involved in this. And then you got you guys coming out with this message, but Abby just thinks it's just that them that's coming out and saying just follow the law. That's all it is. Yeah, we ain't stupid, Abby, like you are.
Follow
Why
illegal
do you
orders.
People to follow the law?
Do you think that is sedition?
What, everyone in the military knows
yes
to
or
follow
no,
the
it is
law.
a yes or no question. Is it
think-
sedition to tell people to follow the law?
I think Democrats have a long and standing history of undercutting
I'm just
and undermining
saying
the
you're
Constitution.
not willing to say yes or no because it's very obvious that the answer is no.
Because they
No, that is not very obvious. What it was obvious, what I just said, I'm not gonna repeat myself to you, Abby. But nonetheless, you hear what she's up there trying to downplay, and she's over talking him and doing what she always does. And do you think a yes or no? Yes or no? I want to get invited on to CNN. Anybody got any connections? Anybody got connections? For me to go on the fake news network and destroy them?
Because if that were the case,
it's a wink and a nod. That's the reason. Their words are perfectly. It's a perfect video, but it's a wink and a nod, and it's all meant to undermine the president of the United States. Absolutely. The military does not have a right to undermine the chief.
Hold on a second.
Guess what? Hold on a second.
In this country, you do get to undermine the president of the United States.
Not if you're in the military.
No.
He's the commander in chief.
If you are a member of Congress, you absolutely in this country have a free right to undermine.
Yeah, but see, that's the problem. The folks in the Congress are not trying to undermine the president as themselves. No, they're trying to encourage the military to undermine the president. That's different. See, if you are out there just being a jerk, if you out there talking about Donald, because they've been doing that since Trump won, undermining him in every way possible. Yeah, deep state, all of that stuff. Milli Vanilli, he was in the military. He undermined the president. He should be brought up on treasonous charges as well. I don't know why he's still walking around free. But nonetheless, we know that they're not just doing it themselves. They're trying to encourage our military to do it. And Abby is just like that. If you're a congressperson, you're allowed to, yeah, we know they're going to do dumb stuff. But they're trying to get the military to do dumb stuff.
And the
military to undermine the commander-in-chief.
The argument that the Democrats were making in that video.
Now you hear this guy coming in right now. First of all, come on, you better get that, what do you got, the smoker's voice?
Because the fact is the military is not obligated to follow illegal orders.
Who's giving the illegal orders? Where are they? Give me the example of the
Democrats
illegal
were
order.
saying specifically, you're not obligated to follow illegal orders.
Okay, then what?
Then what is the legal order? The Democrats were saying specifically, you're not obligated. No, that's not specifically. We don't care about you saying specifically you're not allowed to follow illegal orders. Well, then give me some specifics when it comes down to what are you, inferring is illegal. So just because they said specifically, no, they did that to try to cover their butt, and we're about to find out why.
Illegal orders are they talking about?
Well,
they're just
UK,
just in case.
In because you're just in case.
Because
Right now we have a
no one's
Trump-
stop
Trump's,
no one's going to stop the midterms.
Trump's sending in.
Who just came up with the conspiracy theory that Republicans are going to stop the midterms? That's crazy. That's a conspiracy theory.
All right.
Yeah, and we've heard that from many of the dummies. Trump sending them the National Guard into. We heard Mayor Pritzker up there, bad body, box body, tell everybody that he's sending the military in so he can subvert the midterms. He can go ahead and take over the polls, the voting booths. All of these crazy, wacky, just statements. But see, when you go directly to the military, saying stupid stuff and saying Trump's really doing this is what he's up to is one thing. But they bypassed Trump. Said instead of going ahead and saying crazy things about Trump, because we done wore that out. Yeah, we done beat that horse to death. Now we need to go ahead and see if we can get some allies on our squad in the military. Yeah, let's go over his head, over the general's head, over Pete Hegseth's head, and go straight to the military and utilize our position in Congress and our past position in the military to suggest and slide in some suspicions and some doubts that is Trump really telling y'all to do lawful stuff, or is it unlawful? I'm not here. I'm just saying. I ain't gonna get all involved in it. I'm gonna let you figure it out. But I'm just saying. So we already know what they were up to.
You, Congresswoman, or any other of these Democratic members of Congress heard directly from members of the U.S. military or the broader national security community who believe they've been given unlawful orders.
Now, y'all ready for these lies? I want proof. Because watch these people go, we had heard from some people and stuff. Watch.
Well, what I'd say is I have heard from service members.
Oh, yeah?
I have heard from service members, and this is all a matter of public record. What we see is...
Where public record? Show me the records where they're buzzing you saying, all right, look, man, I'm a little scared, man. Trump got us doing some crazy stuff up in here. You know they ain't heard from nobody. But here they are talking about, I have heard from service members. Who? How? How many? What are they talking about?
Uptick of concern from men and women who are serving in uniform about the legality of orders that are being given. And
now, she do not sound confident at all. Sound like she's making it up as she go, because she knows she gonna sound real stupid if she would have had to answer that question like, nope, I ain't heard not one person buzz me. Now, you're telling me that these people in the military are randomly saying, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to find this lady who I didn't even know her name prior to that. I don't know her name now. Yeah. I'm going to call her up and ask her and complain about that. Who's doing this? Who in the military do you really think is saying these people who did this little video, we're calling them saying, we all up in this concern. They're bypassing their commanding officers. They're bypassing, the council that might be in there. I'm sure that they have, places in the military you can go and report, and question and ask some things like, look, man, my JAG officer told me to do this and that. I'm a little concerned about it. I'm sure there are other chains of command than to say, let me call these raggedy politicians and start saying we're scared. We're wondering about whether we're doing the right thing or not. That they ain't talked to none of these people. In fact, they probably reached out to them. So let's go ahead and see some others. Oh, wait, I think she ain't done.
What illegal orders are you urging troops to refuse, and what do you hope they take away from your message?
The form a coup and decide to resist Donald Trump and save our precious illegal immigrants. But let's go ahead and hear her try to lie her way through this.
Alex, we love this country. We love our Constitution. It is our job as lawmakers, and especially in this moment, to be clear morally, to be clear legally, and simply and clearly stating what the law says.
What does the law say?
What the Uniform Code of Military Justice says. It's not a crime. It is not treason. It is not sedition. It is our job.
What? It's not a crime, but you're trying to convince them to commit one. That's what you're trying to do. Yeah, it's our job to go ahead and decide to tell the military, you ain't got to obey Trump's orders, okay, without no proof of him giving any unlawful orders. So now, let's go ahead and assume some of the woke folk that might still be in the military decide, well, I'm going to go ahead and take this into my own hands because we got advocates. We got Democrat politicians who I'm sure are going to come to my rescue when I decide to disobey a lawful order, but because I'm going to make up my own interpretation, because these folks, they didn't tell them. Yeah, I'm going to make up my own interpretation because I'm a little woke in the military, see? And when I do that, I get court-martialed, and I wonder where these people will be. You're talking about it's all right to do this, and I'm going, so you're going to go ahead and get people in trouble like y'all always do. The Democrats have gotten so many people in trouble because of their own quest for power, lies, and manipulation. All of the dummies out there in the streets, laying in the middle of the street trying to block ICE from doing their job, attacking ICE. All of these stupid things people are doing because these people are playing games with their emotions. And then when they get arrested, then what? Get themselves killed, then what? Try to assassinate folks. All of these stupid things that people are doing are all because of these people and their greed and their quest for power. And they don't care who it impacts. Yeah, they'll use somebody in the military to get court-martialed as a talking point. Look at that. This person standing up against totalitarianism and stuff. We're going to be there. We're going to go down and visit them. We're going to go down and shut ourselves in until they'll use stuff like that. But at the end of the day, the chips are going to fall where they fall on that person.
And I think it's really important that we do our job.
Rogers, proud to serve as an officer in the United States Army. My name is...
The counter video? Here goes the counter videos to the ones that are lawless and treasonous. Look at these people. These people were in the military too. Let's see how they feel about it.
This is Crescent Shield. For 4 years, I served in the United States Navy.
Jason Mickelborg from Portage, Michigan. I served in the U.S. Army for 8 years.
Chris Patton. I was in the U.S. Army. I was a Sergeant E5.
Democrats want service members to walk away from their oaths.
Democrats are disrespecting our country.
Yes. Democrats are disrespecting our military.
They want people to abandon their duties.
They're sowing chaos, undermining the chain of command, and signaling it's okay to pick and choose which orders to follow.
They are openly calling for our military to disobey orders.
These jerks want lawlessness in our street.
I love it. The old timer ain't even holding back. These jerks want lawlessness in our streets, and that's exactly what they want. They would prefer lawlessness. They would prefer complete 100% chaos breaks out across the whole country. If the whole country right now imploded into riots and civil war, they'd be sitting back going, yes, yes. Yeah, we want to sow chaos, make it seem like Trump's responsible for all of the chaos and the violence and the conflict and all of this stuff. They wouldn't care about how many people die in that conflict. They wouldn't care about how many folks go to jail in that conflict. They wouldn't care about that. They would sit back and watch it and get on the news every night. See, this is an example of how Trump can't keep civility in our society because the people are pushing back and now his MAGA folks want to. They would use that. They do not care. That's why I say in the beginning, we got to abolish the filibuster. We're not dealing with a common enemy. Nah, man, we ain't dealing with sane folks. They're on a full-blown bonsai suicide mission when it comes down to winning. They're like, man, we going straight bonsai. Yeah, they're crashing to the ship. We ain't got no gas to make it back. Just blow the ship up.
These Democrats, the radicals, the lawlessness, it has to stop.
Let's get to the content of...
So we heard from the folks that really know what's going on with that and say, man, these folks crazy. So now let's go ahead and listen to this weasel right here. Try to weasel out of why what he did was stupid.
Of what you had in that video you released, because there are also 15 House Republicans who are also veterans who released a video, including a retired 3-star Marine Corps General, Jack Bergman. Take a listen to this.
Troops, listen up. Any service member who refuses a lawful order is subject to court-martial for violating the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
We study what's lawful and what's not lawful, and the Democrats stunt insinuating that they're illegal or unconstitutional orders. It's downright dangerous.
It is corrosive. It is meant to weaken our country and weaken the military.
Yeah.
How do you respond to these allegations from your colleagues?
With more lies and propaganda. That's how I'm going to respond to it.
Fellow veterans, that what you have put out there is weakening and corrosive to the military.
Well, these unfortunately are some of Trump's core supporters that are rallying behind the president, and they know better. They
know better. First of all, I want to know why you talking out those nostrils. That's what I want to know why. But here he goes. They know better.
Know better? What are you talking about?
They know exactly the difference between lawful versus unlawful.
That's not the issue. See, once again, he wants to go ahead and get people focusing on lawful versus no. It's what you did. It's not about what's lawful and unlawful. It's about you guys trying to use that to create suspicion and doubt in the military when it comes down to Trump. But you now trying to just pretend that it's all about the lawful and unlawful. We're just trying to say, hey, look, here's what's lawful and here's what's unlawful. No, it's what you guys did.
Very clear in the video that what we're talking about is unlawful orders.
See?
You have
No. Now, you weren't talking about unlawful orders. What was very clear was the sub-message, which is don't listen to Trump. He's making y'all do stuff that ain't right. You got the right to resist and disobey orders. That's the subtitle. That's the sub-meaning to it. You're trying to go ahead and give us the surface as if we're not able to look beneath what lies on top.
President's spokesperson going into a press conference this past week and saying that we called for people to disobey lawful orders.
Exactly what y'all called for. Yeah, because y'all didn't tell them what was lawful or unlawful. In fact, you referenced something that, what isn't unlawful. Trump's having the military attack folks that's in American citizens. And that's not what's happening. So what are you talking about? We specifically said lawful or unlawful, trying to use that as cover.
They're simply lying because the truth is unacceptable to them.
God.
It's unacceptable. We wanted to start a conversation, and we did, about the dangerous rhetoric this president is using and the threats that he's made to use our military in an unlawful way.
How? What do you mean an unlawful way? As many injunctions and stuff like that, and he had to go ahead and get it overridden by going to court. But here you are, using our military. So they all just say this stuff. And yet, no proof, no evidence. And that's why they need to be brought in on some charges. So they can't get away with just throwing that stuff out. So they can't get away with just saying, the president actually said that he wants to use our military in unlawful ways. In court, that don't fly. When you're on trial and they say, oh, really? How? In Section 3 of the Codes of... Yeah, you can't just go ahead and start throwing all of this stupid stuff out there like y'all been doing forever. Trump's threatened to have this done. Trump's threatened people to do this.
Specifically what?
Well, send troops into Chicago.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's lawful.
Troops into polling stations.
That's lawful.
Kill terrorists' families.
Kill terrorist families? What? What are you talking about? You mean like Obama or every other president that, bombed? What's wrong with killing? What are you talking about, terrorist families? I don't know what you're talking about. Is Trump out there just killing? We know that you're not involved in terrorism. Your husband or whomever is not at home, but we're going to kill the family. That's what we're going to do. Where'd that even come from?
Arrest and execute members of Congress.
What? Well, yeah, actually, he's referring to you guys. As you're sitting back trying to use stuff that I'm going, I don't see what the problem is with that. If you just got out there and tried to commit some type of treasonous act. But yeah, arrest. Well, I ain't saying you got to get executed, but hey, y'all need some type of punishment, man. These folks need to be kicked out of Congress or something, if not brought up on treasonous charges.
Shoot peaceful protesters in Lafayette Square.
Oh, God. Now, see, once again, here it is. Shoot peaceful protesters. No context to that. Folks that's getting violent, folks that won't move. He said, well, I mean, heck, if it comes down to it, can you shoot them in the leg? That's grace. That's mercy. The way y'all protest and be throwing bottles and fire bombs and everything, charging the White House. Lucky they didn't open straight up fire on y'all, but none on your crazy folks that y'all use to do your bidding. But here he is once again saying that Trump just basically gave an order to shoot people. In Lafayette Square.
Go on. He has a history of doing this. And if we wait until the moment that he gives a manifestly unlawful order to a young soldier, then we have failed them.
Yeah. So basically, Trump is evil. He's bad, embellishing on all this stuff I'm saying he's doing, but I can't prove that he's doing it, and I'm lying about it. But the bottom line is this is preemptive. That's all it is. It's preemptive. We figured we need to let these kids and young adults know that, hey, look, we've been lying about how bad Trump is this whole time. Now, we just want you to know if he gets really bad, don't obey him. And I'm saying, boy, I tell you. That's why I say you can't despise the Democrat Party enough.
We have to start that conversation now and get people thinking about the distinction, which is exactly what we did.
Yeah.
See, you hear that bullcrap? You hear that bullcrap? We have to start that conversation now because you want to plant the seed of doubt and confusion. That's why. And you think that I didn't see it. Now, this man right here is a former Navy SEAL. He's furious about this. And he got some stories to tell about how politicians really don't care about the folks in the military either.
Our military is not pawns. We're not in some game. This is deeply personal to me. This is the story of my platoon that got stuck. I mean, we got stuck in the middle of a political game just like this. Almost got us killed.
Like
thrown
this
in the
one.
brig, facing charges. At one point, the U.S. military considered turning us over, U.S. soldiers, over to the Iraqi court system so they could prosecute us where we'd likely be hung ourselves.
Yeah, because of woke folks. Woke politicians who want to grandstand and virtue signal. They don't mind throwing our men and women in the military under the bus if they could go ahead and virtue signal. They do it all the time. Look what they were willing to do to Border Patrol agents that were on those horses trying to stop those Haitians from running into our country. And they said they were slave drivers, whipping those Haitians. And it was worse than slavery, said Mad Max. Worse than slavery. Never came out and apologized to those guys. That's what they were willing to do. They knew the truth up front. Same thing. Look what they were willing to do to the folks that didn't want to get that nasty stinking shot. Hey, do you think they care about the military? Absolutely not. If they feel that they can grandstand, they do it with ICE. Look how they demonize ICE. Talk and threaten about, well, you know what? We're going to be in power one day. We're going to hold people accountable. All of the stupid stuff, when it comes down to law enforcement, they're willing to do it and use them as political pawns and threaten them. And I'm saying, how can anybody that's responsible for keeping our country safe or executing the law, how can anybody vote for the Democrat Party? So look what they did to these folks so they could look good and not, Islamophobic.
Oh, you didn't hear about this story. Hold my beer. It's in this book.
I got it.
This is the story of how stupid political clickbait videos like Slotkin's have real consequences. You remember this guy from the movie American Sniper?
Yeah, I love that movie.
In 2009, my platoon caught that guy in real life.
What?
The Butcher of Fallujah. He was also the man responsible for hanging 4 American contractors, one of which was a SEAL brother of mine, whose body was lit on fire, dangling from a bridge by his neck.
And I'm sure y'all caught that dude and said, man, orders and lawfulness be damned. This dude hung one of ours and burned him alive. You know what? Let's go ahead and carve him up real good. Let's do that. Let's plant a gun on him or something and just say, look, man, he was just trying to fire. I'm sure that's what y'all did, right? For politicians to be talking about y'all need to be court-martialed. But let's see what they really did.
My team caught that guy. We were authorized to use lethal force, and we exercised restraint to bring him back alive for the betterment of the mission. And we were one part. And we did it at great risk to ourselves. And because of orders, so he could be questioned by the CIA and save more lives. Yeah. Imagine if we had violated that order. Yeah. After all, we knew he killed one of our own, and he had a gun when we apprehended him.
Could have shot him.
So, honestly, Democrats, don't ever lecture me and my people on restraint and decorum. And when we brought him back, the same people who sent us on that mission, they turned around and court-martialed us for abusing him in custody, which we clearly did not do, which was proven by our full acquittals almost immediately in a courtroom, all because politicians wanted to have the talking point that they stood with the Iraqi people over their own soldiers.
Now you see? Never go to war under a Democrat and really under a rhino either. Yeah, so that's what you get. You go out there, you do your job. And they want to make sure the Iraqi people feel like we're not overstepping our boundaries, and we stand with you guys. We're not Islamophobic. We want to do that. So we're going to punish our own. We're going to punish the folks that was willing to put their lives in danger. None of y'all got the gonads to go out and do it. And then when these guys get back, what do? They want to virtue signal. They want to go ahead and use them as political pawns. Oh, God. Man. Politicians, I tell you, man. But let's finish with it. We're hearing what he said.
And the generals whose promotions need to be approved by the Senate, people like Mark Kelly and Alyssa Slotkin, they bent the knee and they sacrificed me and my team at the altar of their political correctness. And you know what it did? It made every soldier in Iraq and Afghanistan second guess everything.
Yep.
Hesitate to prosecute that IED. How many people did that kill? Apprehending terrorists, or even pulling the trigger when they needed to.
Yep. Same thing with the police. Demonize the police, try to use them as political pawns, try to vet them against the people. There's a bunch of racism going on. We stand with the people, and the police are the... And then what do you get? You get Chicago. Yeah, you get all of these cities, where the police is like, man, I'm not getting involved with that. I mean, so they can, string me out, so they can drag me out in the public and use me as an example. It might be, political season, might be voting season. All of a sudden, I go ahead and have to handle somebody, and next we got us one. Nah. And so what happens is people are retired from the police. They're not doing their job. They're not showing up to, all of these things. They're like, man, I'm not getting involved with that. Let these people go ahead and kill each other unless we have a governor, a president, or a mayor that actually supports the police. And Democrats, they only use folks like that for political pawns. That is it.
Hesitate.
And protection for
their own
themselves.
safety in a courtroom that might not come. Stuff like this gets people killed. It creates stupid rules of engagement, some of which killed my friends personally, because they want to play political grandstand games with no intention of ever backing the soldier up when he does the bidding that they subtly encourage.
And I wish every single American would just vomit up the Democrat Party. I wish they would all see them for what they are and just be like, they were willing to do what? You're telling me that's what they were up to? But so many people are blind. I mean, it just burns me up, man, when I look at the stupidity all around us. It's everywhere. I'm surrounded by stupidity. So, yeah, that's what they were willing to do to our military is they're talking about you don't have to obey unlawful orders.
This is why people hate politicians. They pop off like there's some moral authority without listing a single specific thing that Trump has done illegally.
This morning, President Trump accused 6 Democratic lawmakers of seditious behavior punishable by death. Just to be clear, does the president want to execute members of Congress?
Wait a minute. Did you say for doing what? The 6 the members of Congress of sedition punishable by death. For doing what? You forgot that part. For making a stupid video accusing Trump of having the military sig a lot of American citizens, which he didn't, and then, suggesting that they ain't gotta, listen to Trump. They ain't gotta listen to him, man. You know what I'm saying? That's all. But you forgot that part. You're just making it seem like he just woke up randomly and threw a dart on a wall of Democrats. 6 of them, all right, right there. Those 6 I want brought up on charges of sedition.
No. Let's be clear about what the president is responding to. Because many in this room want to talk about the president's response, but not what brought the president to responding in this way. You have sitting members of the United States Congress who conspired together to orchestrate a video message to members of the United States military, to active duty service members, to members of the national security apparatus, encouraging them to defy the president's lawful orders. The sanctity of our military rests on the chain of command. And if that chain of command is broken, it can lead to people getting killed. It can lead to chaos. And that's what these members of Congress who swore an oath to abide by the Constitution are essentially encouraging. We have 1.3 active duty service members in this country. And if they hear this radical message from sitting members of Congress, that could inspire chaos and it could incite violence and it certainly could disrupt the chain of command. These 3 members of Congress, I will also add, knew exactly what they were doing. You look at Alyssa Slotkin. She's a former member of the CIA. Mark Kelly was a captain in the U.S. Navy. Maggie Goodlander was a naval officer. And notably, she is also the wife of Joe Biden's national security former advisor, Jake Sullivan.
And that makes it worse. These dirty, disgusting folks knew exactly what they were doing. Oh, yeah, we're about to undermine all of this mess. That's what we gonna do.
And so these members knew what they were doing. They were leading into their credentials as former members of our military, as veterans, as former members of the national security apparatus to signal to people serving under this commander-in-chief, Donald Trump, that you can defy him and you can betray your oath of office.
Ready for a stupid follow-up? You ready for a stupid follow-up after that well thought out, clear explanation of why Trump said what he said? But that wasn't good enough for the dumb reporter.
That is a very, very dangerous. And it perhaps is punishable by law. I'm not a lawyer. I'll leave that to the Department of Justice and the Department of War to decide.
But the president has frequently, but Caroline, can I just follow up? The president and the vice president, for that matter, have accused the other side of encouraging political violence.
See? Now you want to go ahead and prostitute yourself for the Democrats. You want to make this out of political violence, not out of what is lawful, what is not, what is treacherous, and what is not. You want to take it outside the courts. You want to make it seem like this is a street fight. Where basically it's a free-for-all. Yeah, I'm just saying. These folks, man, they violated, some laws. They're treasonous. So, hey, anybody see them on the street, you know what to do.
You know what to do. That's not what Trump was saying. Now all of a sudden she want to bring in political violence. So nobody has ever, any politician could never be brought up on charges or anything because that's political violence. Unreal. So now you ask stupid questions, you get some real interesting answers. So go ahead and give her the truth again. Smack her with some of that truth.
Isn't that exactly what the president is doing when he says that members of Congress should be killed?
Why aren't you talking about what these members...
Killed. That's it. Just straight killed. No context of killed. Unbelievable, that stupid reporter.
Members of Congress are doing to encourage and incite violence. They are literally saying to 1.3 million active duty service members not to defy the chain of command, not to follow lawful orders. Every single
refuse an illegal order, which
but
is
they're suggesting, Nancy, that the president has given illegal orders, which he has not. Every single order that is given to this United States military by this commander-in-chief and through this chain of command, through the Secretary of War, is lawful. And the courts have proven that. This administration has an unparalleled record at the Supreme Court because we are following the laws. Bam! We don't defy court orders. We do things by the books. And to suggest and encourage that active duty service members defy the chain of command is a very dangerous thing for sitting members of Congress to do. And they should be held accountable. And that's what the president wants to see.
Yeah, that's the way you handle nasty Nancy. There you go. Nancy wanted to ask a nasty question, and she got a nastier answer. But now, here's one of them. Here's one of them right now going on TV trying to go ahead and explain why they did it and stuff.
Is that an accurate statement?
So I think the reason we put that statement out is because the sheer number of, frankly, young officers who are coming to us and saying, I just am not sure. What do I do? You know, I'm in Southcom and I'm involved in the National Guard.
Don't you believe it? The sheer numbers. What are those sheer numbers? So let me get this straight. You 6 are getting your phones blown off the hook. Sheer numbers. You're telling me all of these people in the military, they're just saying, you know who could probably give us a good answer? This chick right here, Senator Slotkin. Not my commanding officer. Nah, forget all of that. Forget going to any internal, resources in the military and asking them some questions. I'm sure they got people who address these things. But instead, you know what all of us are going to do somehow is start blowing up Slotkin's number. Calling in a Slotkin. Hey, Slot, can you help us out here? We're in a pickle. We're trying to figure out if this is lawful or not. Are you kidding me? So now the sheer numbers, but I'm not going to tell you what those sheer numbers are. Okay, I'm going to make you think that our phone is blowing off the hook from folks in the military questioning, should we obey these orders or not?
I'm just not sure. What do I do? And I think, look, you don't have to take my word for it. We've had report after report of legal officer, JAG officers coming forward and saying, look, I push back on this. I'm not sure that this is legal.
Where are these reports? I want to find them. I want to go read them. Unreal. But she's going to go ahead and carry on like, hey, we didn't do this on our own. It was prompted by the military. That's what it was. We was minding our own business. We wouldn't even think about doing something like this. But then we got together and said, how many calls you got? Oh, man, at least 80. I got like 100, all from the military. Unreal, these liars.
There is such things as illegal orders. That's why it's in the Uniform Code of Military Justice, going back to Nuremberg, right? And it's a totally benign statement.
Round and round that mulberry bush, dragging in Nuremberg and the possibilities and potential and, hypotheticals and historicals.
And if the president is concerned about it, then he should stay deeply within the law. But I think it's important to know it's not hypothetical, right? This president in the last administration, administration, asked his Secretary of Defense and his chairman of the Joint Chiefs to, quote, shoot at their legs at unarmed protesters in front of the White House that he wanted moved.
Actually, I know you're talking about Mark Esper's book. He didn't exactly say that. He said the president suggested that, but they were never ordered to do that.
Well, look at that. Now, if you wouldn't have got a check right there, you'd have go ahead and let that slide. Yeah, you were willing to allow the people to think Trump was like, hey, Jack, this is what you do. Go out there and start shooting people in the legs, okay? That's an order. See how deceptive they are? And she's getting exposed. And this ain't even a real hard-hitting anchor. This is a propagandist herself. But yet, just that little bit of information made her have to now switch directions and say what?
Got out of the Oval Office quickly so that he wasn't told to actually do it.
That's right. Trump was going to tell him to do it, so he ran. Yeah, when Trump said, "Hey, yeah, well, can't you what? I mean, can they be shot in the leg?" No, we don't want to do that, Mr. President. I better get out of here because I know what's coming next. Right after this, Trump's going to say, "I command you to go out there and start shooting people in the legs." You see the stupidity, and she think we're just sitting here listening to her like, okay, that makes sense. She is making this up as she goes right now.
And I give him a lot of credit for that. I give him a lot of credit.
So let's talk right now. Do you believe President Trump has issued any illegal orders?
To my knowledge, I am not aware of things that are illegal, but certainly there are some legal gymnastics that are going on with these Caribbean strikes.
With some gymnastics is this answer right here. That's the only gymnastics I see. So to my knowledge, that there's nothing, then shut it up. Hey, why did you feel the need, without no evidence or no knowledge of anything illegal, to put this video together? And yet now you out here whining, talking about it's preemptive. We were just saying most likely Trump will do something illegal because we've been lying about how evil he is this whole time.
Let me read you what Senator Lindsey Graham said about your video. You owe it to the men and women in the military to be specific about what you are talking about. What these senators and House members did was unnerving, and it was unconscionable to suggest that the President of the United States is issuing unlawful orders without giving an example.
Yeah. So for me, my primary concern is the use of U.S. military on American shores, in our cities and in our streets. We've seen now the courts overturn the deployment of U.S. military into our streets, including here in Washington, D.C.
And then it gets overturned and they go back and forth. But nonetheless, here you are right now, switching gears because the heat is on you. The heat is on. So now all of a sudden, I'm concerned about the use of the military in the street. Well, you weren't worried about that when Mayor Hochul sent them down into that subway. Wasn't worried about that? No, you weren't worried about when Nancy Pelosi brought them out there to surround the Capitol? Wasn't worried about that? But now all of a sudden you're worried about those precious illegal immigrants being removed while our military protects ICE in doing their jobs.
When you look at these videos coming out of places like Chicago, it makes me incredibly nervous that we're about to see people in law enforcement, people in uniform military get nervous, get stressed, shoot at American civilians. It is a very, very stressful situation for these law enforcement.
Just winging it. The video's like in Chicago. And I'm saying, wait a minute. You mean because they're being shot at by your protesters, your supporters? Because they're having Molotov cocktails thrown at them and they're trying to be sabotaged and your stupid folks are going out there and blocking and getting in front of their trucks and stuff like that? So without being prompted, nothing. You're telling me the military and the police and stuff out there are just randomly starting to shoot and pick off people. They're nervous for nothing. Guys. I mean, they ain't got no resistance. They ain't worried about these folks being shot. And they're not definitely being demonized by the Democrats. Just putting a target on their backs. So you want to really talk about that's dangerous and the rhetoric is putting my life in danger? No, you guys saying ICE right there is Gestapo. ICE is the brown shirts. ICE is next to the Nazis. That's putting the target on their back. That is why we need extra help from the military to come in, because you folks can't come to grips that Trump wants to get rid of all of your future voters. That's why. And then you sitting back trying to say that it's a very stressful situation. Who made it stressful? Democrats made it stressful by sending all of these stupid woke folk out there to do their bidding, stand in the way and protest and attack ICE. And then you talk about it's a stressful situation.
And for the communities on the ground. So it was basically a warning to say, like, if you're asked to do something, particularly against American citizens, you have the ability to go to your JAG officer and push back.
And with these service members calling you, couldn't you have done a video saying just what you just said?
Yeah, but that wouldn't get the point across. Okay, we went out there really, look, man, now I got to pretend, I got to backtrack and make it seem like, no, it was just a, video, just let them know, always obey the rules. That's all it was. See, as an afterthought. But we really know
what it was about.
You are asked to do something. If you are worried about whether it is legal or not, you can do this. It does imply that the president is having illegal orders, which you have not seen.
I think for us, it was just a statement widely, right? We say very quickly and very to all the folks who come to us, this is the process. Go to your JAG officer, ask them for explanation for top cover.
Well, why'd you have to make a video for that? You don't think they would do that anyway? Yeah, they needed to hear it from you guys. Oh, so that's what we can do. We had no idea when they told us to just start hanging citizens that was against the rules. I had nowhere to go, so I called up you, Senator, whomever you are. I called you up. That's Congresswoman, I don't know what she is. She's a Congresswoman or a senator, I don't know. But yeah, that's what I decided to do when Trump was telling us to just start shooting citizens. Unreal. But now all of a sudden, you could go to your JAG officer and all of that stuff. Well, if they could have done that before, and they probably know they can do that, why did you make the video?
For their view on things. We do that on a case-by-case basis, but we wanted to speak directly to the volumes of people who had come to us.
And it is very clear that no one should follow an illegal order, but it's very murky when you look at what is an illegal order. And if you go into morally, ethically, that's a pretty tough thing to look at and say, how do I navigate this?
Yeah, she is backpedaling. Big time. She's out there like a defensive back, backing up.
Look, if you go back to Nuremberg, right, they told me to do it, that's why I murdered people, is not an excuse. If you look at popular culture, there's you watch, A Few Good Men, we have plenty of examples since World War II.
Those are examples? Okay, so if we got all these examples, why is it that you guys got to come out and reiterate it then? And include Trump and his administration in that whole video? I mean, if that's just something general that you feel all the military should, be reminded of, why the need to start referencing the current administration? Why didn't you do this under Biden? Just as, as a reminder. Why didn't you do it under all the presidents? I mean, why aren't these reminders sent out under all the presidents? This is just your friendly reminder from us congressmen and women, just in case there's ever a time where you're asked to commit an unlawful act in the military. You can go and contact your JAG officer and you can just question. But instead, y'all picked this time under Trump and then reference Trump in your little promotional video. And now you're trying to make it seem like it had nothing to do with that. It's just preemptive.
In Vietnam, where people were told to follow illegal orders and they did it and they were prosecuted for it. So the best thing for people to do is go to their JAG officer, their local law enforcement or a legal officer in their unit and ask for some explanation.
So then why were they all coming to you? That's my question. You bums now are getting on TV swearing up and down. This was all prompted by the overwhelming amount of people in the military contacting you guys instead of their JAG officers. Why didn't you just go ahead and tell them when they called you, hey, listen, I'm not the person you need to be talking to. Why don't you go ahead and call your JAG officer? But no, not y'all. Swear up and down, oh man, all these phone calls, we need to go ahead and make a video about this because obviously this is a major concern in the military.
For help, and that's what we've been advising people to do.
What's your reaction to this? Because not only are they saying ignore orders, they didn't name a single order they deemed illegal and that should not be followed.
Here's a former person in the military. Let's see his reaction to all of this shite that they're trying to shovel.
Isn't that fomenting general insubordination in the military?
Yeah.
Well, that's right, Liz, and thanks for having me on. So yeah, this is very, very dangerous stuff they're doing here. They're getting really close to some really crazy lines that none of us thought we'd ever see in our country.
Ever.
And they're being kind of cute about it. They're saying you don't have to obey illegal orders. Well, newsflash, whenever you join the military and you support the Constitution and say you'll defend it with your life, you know right away you don't have to obey illegal orders. Everybody knows that. And so what they're throwing out there is, well, there might be a possibility we'll come back and tell you what's illegal, or we want you to decide on your own what is illegal, when everybody in the military knows the Constitution says that the president's the commander-in-chief. There's a chain of command that goes all the way down, and the commander-in-chief is in charge, and the officers over you are in charge, and you have to obey them. And so for these guys to kind of float out that, hey, we were in the military, we're in the intelligence community, we might let you know that something that's going on is even though it seems like it might be legal, we're going to say it's illegal, and so you don't have to follow along. I think it's really just them, this ongoing feeling they've got, the reality that they're losing control of their power base, especially as we do immigration crackdown.
Bam!
In big cities. And so they're trying to get to a place where they can tell people in the military, well, you shouldn't do what the president wants you to do, even though it's perfectly legal. If you feel it's illegal, you just go ahead and disobey it. Now, I would tell you this, that everybody in the military knows that's wrong. And I would encourage everybody in the military that's seen this to think to themselves, I know what's right. I'm going to do what's right. Because if they do what these guys are talking about, they'll get court-martialed. All kinds of terrible things will happen. And they know that. So
bam, they know that. So in other words, don't listen to these dummies because they don't care about y'all. They care about those illegal immigrants, military. All I want to say is that they don't really care about us. You think these folks really worry about you and you don't have to obey? You always got to ask yourself, what's your real motive? What's your end game? Is it really y'all just don't want us to disobey unlawful orders? You would just, it was on your heart. It was on your heart. Or what's the real motive? You got to be dumb if you don't understand and you're not able to see the real motive. They don't give a darn about this. If this was creepy, sleepy, sleazy, slimy, sloppy Joe or Obama blowing up American citizens overseas without a trial, they wouldn't care. They wouldn't care. So for them to come out and do this and pretend they're just worried about the military folks, the military should be offended. They should be like, oh, you're belittling our intelligence. You're trying to jump over the chain of command. You're trying to make it seem like we had no idea who to go and turn to and ask questions. So we decided to, you know what would be a good idea? Let's start calling all of our, congressmen and women. See what they think. Maybe they can go ahead. Now, if I am a JAG officer and I find out that 50 of my guys, instead of coming to me, went to these folks, I'm going full metal jacket on them. What is your major malfunction, numbnuts? Didn't mommy and daddy have to teach you enough attention? I'm going full metal jacket on them. What is this jelly donut doing in your Foot Locker, private pal? I was hungry, sir. I was hungry, sir. Yeah, full metal jacket on them. But nope. But apparently, we didn't know who to go to. We didn't know who to go to, so we decided to call y'all.
We just
Lose
got
their
to
pension,
stay steady on this. Yeah.
Yeah, Captain, it is striking that Democrats didn't specifically cite any actual Trump policy in the video. So voters are saying they don't know what Democrats are talking about.
It was not striking. No. I expected that. I mean, did you expect them to get out there and actually, they don't deal in facts and in truth. They deal in, innuendos, and they like fear, possibilities, what ifs, stuff like that. Nothing concrete because they're liars and deceivers. See, so they just want to go ahead and excite your imagination. Start thinking like, yeah, is this right? You know what? You know what? I don't like jogging. I don't like jogging in the morning. So I'm gonna say that's unlawful order, Captain. You got me out here jogging. It's violating my rights to sleep in. Let's just go ahead and apply that to anything since they weren't specific.
Watch Fox News' Martha McCallum take on one of the Democrats in that video, Colorado Democrat Jason Crow.
You're talking about illusions. You're not talking about actual policy. Are they talking about not allowing gun boats to make it to the United States carrying drugs? Is that what you're talking about?
Martha, here's a novel idea. How about we actually prevent things from happening before they become a problem?
That is a novel idea. Why don't we actually prevent things from happening before it becomes a problem?
And that's your job? That's your job? So let me understand. You're making it a problem, and it ain't a problem. You're starting problems and pretending you're trying to solve problems or be preemptive.
I think that's what they're trying to do.
What you're saying is we have to wait until there's a problem to respond to that problem.
No, I'm not. What
reminding them of their obligation
from the commander-in-chief that we're asking our military to carry out are you objecting to? This is very, very vague. And it was so vague in this video. I don't think people could figure out what you guys were all talking about, honestly.
Yeah, I'm sure the military folks was like, wait a minute. What? And I mean, did they know something we don't know? Where'd this come from? Where'd this come? It came from the necessity and the desire to save their precious illegal immigrants and to make it seem like Trump's having you guys do unlawful acts. That's where it came from.
Martha, Donald Trump has made a series of very disturbing comments and suggestions that would violate U.S. law and put up.
You see her? Like, here we go. Like, sure. Here we go. Yeah. You're not going to be honest. Because you're busted. You know that you guys are treasonous. 'Tis the season to be treason.
our military in terrible positions.
Again, we're getting nowhere.
Getting nowhere. Why couldn't he answer the question?
'Cause he's a
he wouldn't
dirtbag.
answer the question. You heard that, right, Captain? Let's point out, by the way, the Trump administration, just in the first 10 months, they've caught at least 80,000 criminal illegal aliens.
Oh, there it is. There it is. All of those precious illegal immigrants being sent home.
We're seeing numbers as high as 110,000. Joe Biden let into the U.S. unvetted 11 million illegal aliens.
Now that's treasonous.
Many of them Trentino-Aragua, MS-13 gang members, terrorists, murderers, rapists, kidnappers, assaulting U.S. citizens, children too.
Yeah.
So how can is that illegal? No, it's what the president's doing there. There's no illegality there. Why can't that Democrats specify which order is illegal?
Because there isn't any orders that are legal. That's why. And that was unspecific for, on purpose. Hey, you think Democrats like to talk in specifics? Never, even when they're debating. Even when you ask them questions, how many months is okay for a woman to have an abortion? That just depends. That's up to her doctor and her and her doctor. Well, why can't you give an opinion? That's not up to me. It's not my right to give the opinion because, I'm not it. They never get into specifics. Well, are you okay with the 9-month abortion? Well, look, you know what? I don't want to, because I'm not the one. I can't say that. They never want to get into specifics. But we all know what they're really doing and what they're about. So now let this young man right here finish it out.
Yeah, how about it? Those guys, and the illegality of letting all those illegal immigrants in. I mean, it's crazy. Well, that guy, too, in particular, it's really hard to watch. He's an Army Ranger, as was I. That guy has sold his soul for political power. That's all he's got. He's just trying to get power out of this deal.
All right.
So now, sold his soul. And we're going to end with Byron Donalds because, the Democrats are going around saying that their life is in danger and they scared and stuff, y'all. And Donald Trump out here putting hits out on them. He putting hits out on them. Dallas, what's up, man? Yeah, good to see you too. So now he's going to finish us off because these crazy the folks in the media are like, dude, how do you feel about Donald Trump, what he said about the Democrats and what they had did and stuff, and he trying to kill them. So here's Byron going to go ahead and be no nonsense with them.
Now they're going to feign outrage because Donald Trump responded to their words that do yield to insurrection? Please. Stop. No. And this is where I'm going to push back. Because what they are doing is trying to throw literally a grenade into the room. It goes off. And then they're going to claim outrage? They have no moral standing to claim outrage.
None! You hear it, but no, stop. No. Zip it. Do. Wanna see me zip it? You can zip it. Zip it. So now, as that reporter tried to do with all of them, but do you think he's inspired by it? And do you think it's okay for him to? Yeah, tell him some more. Tell him the other stuff, Byron.
Because they decided that they were going to be cute and put out a TikTok video trying to get likes, trying to demonstrate that they're tough enough to stand up to President Trump when Donald Trump is the commander-in-chief, not Mr. Crow, not Senator Slotkin. They are not the commander-in-chief. Nope. And like I said before, they would not tolerate any Republican launching any video like that when Barack Obama was president of the United States. You know it's true. I know it's true. Everybody knows it's true. But now they...
And wouldn't you like to know it's true, too? There it is. I know it's true. You know it's true. And wouldn't you like to know it's true, too? Yeah. So now he's giving them an earful as they're trying to go, but with the but. No more buts. Okay.
They want to feign outrage and have everybody come and ask them how they feel.
Like that stage little interview on my last show where he caught the congresswoman just happened to be standing in there just waiting like, Okay, Ms. Congresswoman, I'm sorry to interrupt you. How do you feel about Donald Trump and what he has said about y'all treason? You know what? He's suffering from dementia, and this is crazy. We've never had anything like this happen. This is on a whole nother level. This is a time when anybody with influence needs to stand up. And I'm going, you little fake moral outrage, trying to pretend you're a victim. No, you guys are the pits
And Donald Trump probably is being kind when he says what he says about you dirtbags.
Man, stop. We're tired of the games and the charade. The American people are looking for real answers on energy, on immigration,
Not
on
stunts.
affordability, but they want to be cute. So yeah, I'm not going to give them any standing about, well, how do they feel? That's BS. They knew what they were doing. They created a political stunt to get a response.
Yeah. And they got one.
And they didn't like the response.
Oh, somebody gonna try to go ahead and slide in something else? Yeah, I guess what he said ain't enough, huh? Here comes somebody else gonna be. But what about?
So, are you comfortable with what the president said?
Are you comfortable with the president said?
Suggesting that members of Congress should be put to death.
No, but the president also said that they should have to actually stand by. You have to investigate those words. What they're calling for is sedition. 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 Let me ask you a question. What are the penalties of sedition in the United States of America?
Oh, there is the dominoes. There is the reverse Uno. There is the big the Trump card right there, the ace. What is the penalty of sedition? I don't really know. No, you know. Yeah, you know what it is. Y'all all up there pretending that when he talked about punishable by death, that had nothing to do with sedition. It just had something to do with him wanting them to be killed. That's all it was. Yeah, it had nothing to do with being arrested, go to trial, found guilty, and then suffer the actual punishment of sedition. If you don't like it, then change that. But all he did was laid out the truth. I mean, it would be no different if you were in a state that they said, look, first-degree murder is a capital punishment. Oh, you're inciting violence against Jeffrey Dahmer. You're inciting violence against Ted Bundy. No, I'm saying if you go around eating people, we can put you to death. By saying that, yes, these are capital punishments, doesn't mean I'm inciting violence against you. I am simply saying if you break the law and you are found guilty of this, this is the penalty. But you ain't even allowed to do that with these precious Democrats who obviously is trying to flip it and make it seem like Trump is bypassing all of that. And it has nothing to do with the penalty of sedition. They don't even want people to look at what these Democrats did as sedition. They just want to look at this as, well, these people just made some suggestions and stuff like that about that. Just follow the rules and stuff. And Trump just said, now I want them killed for that. I want them killed for that. Now, you see how deceptive they are? And all you got to do is just ask them what Byron just did. What is the penalty of sedition? Now they all quiet.
What are they? The president's not calling for it, but they're the ones that started this foolishness. And I will grant you, this is a foolish political stunt created by people who are trying to get their name ID up, who are trying to demonstrate that somehow they're the standard bearers for our constitutional republic when their own words are in violation of our constitutional republic. You cannot have elected members. I don't care about your politics. This is not even a political deal.
Tell them, Byron.
You cannot have elected members tell our military men and women, tell our members of our intelligence community that you don't have to follow orders from the commander-in-chief. That is nuts.
That is
and as
nuts.
people who actually put the uniform on and serve this nation, they should know better. But they're playing politics. That's what's wrong.
Bam! Thank you, Byron. Put it to bed. Yeah, it's nuts. When I saw the video myself the first time, I was like, oh, no, they didn't. Are you kidding? This is nuts. And they try to pretend that Trump's response is unprecedented. Well, I mean, we never, this right here, we never thought we'd see anything like this. Yeah, just like, we never thought we'd see a whole bunch of politicians trying to tell our military to disobey the president. There's a whole bunch of things that the Democrats start, and then the response comes out, and they say, we never seen anything like this. Well, the response is because we are responding to something that we've never seen. You guys promote little boys and little girls being able to go ahead and get transgender. And when the law comes out, no, we never seen anything like this. The men and women sports, we never seen anything like this. Well, that's because y'all brought up crazy stuff that we go, yeah, you're right. We never seen anything like this. We're responding to the crazy stuff that we've never seen. Transgender on the bus singing to the kids, the porn inside of the dang on schools you're trying to read to the kids.
And then when you're banning books, we never say anything like this. He's banning books. See, they do that all the time. You bring all these illegal immigrants over here. We got to snatch them and take them home. We never say anything like this. He's sending the military into the cities. We never seen y'all sit back and stuff 11 plus million people into our country in 3.5 years. And then you want to say, we never say anything like this. I thought it's always, we never seen anything like this. And forget that this is a reaction to things that we go, we never seen anything like this. You're right. We just are saying it from two different perspectives. We're responding to stuff. We go, we never would have thought we would be looking at something like this. And when we respond to it, then you're the victim. Yeah, you're the one. You're the perpetrator. And then when we respond accordingly, then all of a sudden, we never say anything like this. Stop doing stupid stuff then. Stop doing crazy stuff then. Stop doing lawless stuff, and we wouldn't have to respond. You wouldn't have to see things like this. Now, God bless y'all. God bless America. I'm sure this saga will continue. They'll walk around crying victim and try to come out and continue to explain and, you know, their behavior. I thought we didn't mean nothing and all of that stupid stuff. But we already know they right now are trying to play cleanup because they, like always, stick their foot right down their throat. They step in dog dung and then walk around wondering why everybody smell that poop on their shoes, getting mad because you recognize it. Hey, man, you step in doo-doo. Man, don't be coming at me like that. You the one that stepped in that dookie. So anyway, thanks for kicking it with me today. Once again, I got to give a shout out to my man Bob, who got me together on my laptop. Now all I got to do is try to see how I can get all my settings and stuff and apps and stuff back. Boy, that's a tough one. And I lost a lot of clips and a lot of little pictures and things like I'm like, oh, breaking my heart. But hey, I'm just happy to be back, man. So I'm grateful. I'm not going to complain at all. God knows how long it would have taken me to save up the chips where it wouldn't have, set me back on my normal expenses and stuff. So thanks again, Bob. Thanks for all of you that gave in the super chat and those that have been given to the channel through my Cash App and my PayPal. I still got a couple of things I need to do. So don't sit back and say, well, Bob took care of it. So therefore, no, it ain't over. I got to go ahead. We're close. We're getting close. But I got to drop that darn, what do you call it? Warranty. The insurance on it. So you're welcome to continue to support, help Kevin now get insurance on this nice, beautiful laptop, foundation. So thanks again for everything, guys. Listening to me, hanging out with me, sharing my videos, liking my videos and all that good stuff. And Lord willing, I'll be back tomorrow. Don't forget, subscribe to my alternative channel as well. All right. We got to get the views up over there, the likes up over there, and the shares up over there. That's a place where you can find a lot of what comes out of these live streams in short version. And you can also see some throwbacks and good stuff like that. So I appreciate it if you do that for me as well. And other than that, yep, Don just posted it right there. Yeah, other than that, let's go ahead and get out of here so I can go ahead and try to now wind down and get some sleep after getting worked up over these stupid Democrats. This is our city. I know you see the 18. I know you see the way we tear up the place. God bless. Take care.